around? Welcome back to LinkedIn Logs, the jobs and business news podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the jobs and business news podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back in. We are on day 5 of me not having AC in my apartment. Now, Saturday night, or Saturday afternoon, I noticed I was watching tennis, I think, tennis or golf. I was probably watching both. I start hearing clicking around 4 p.m. coming from the room, I guess, where the water heater lives. I've been in this apartment for 6 years. Early on, the water heater had to get replaced, and I was without air. So this is not the first time I've done this. I've been in this situation. I was without AC in the summer for probably about a week or so. A week, I think it was a week. They gave me a portable unit then. They also gave me a portable unit now. However, I had to go down on Monday afternoon. I wrote the email. I requested the maintenance on Sunday. Guess I didn't put a higher enough priority because apparently they don't work on Sunday, and neither the leasing office nor the maintenance people. That must be new because, again, I've been here for 6 years. Anyway, I'm a little testy. So then Monday, I finish working out. I come back in. It's sweltering hot. Like I know I complain about how hot it can get in the storage unit where I keep the treadmill, but it was cold in there compared to how hot it was in here. And thank Christ it was it's been raining for the past couple of days. But you know, I'm obviously worried about the pets. Maverick's panting. You know, all Sunday he was panting, and it was so hot in here. I opened up the balcony door just to let the cooler air come in, and it was still like 80 something degrees. It was burning, and like in the middle of the night, I would get up and grab ice and just rub it on the both of them, rub it on the back of my neck, sleeping naked. Anyway, so then Monday after the gym, which is obviously, it's cold everywhere else. It's cold everywhere but here. I come back and take Maverick for a run and try to get us as cool as possible. Monday afternoon comes, and I'm like, surely, you know, when the leasing office opens, I'll get contacted. Nope. I sent an email at like 7 a.m. Did not get contacted, as usually they have 2 new leasing people, and even still, I was the last 2 people that were here. They would call me immediately, but I don't know these new people. Anyway, so then so I called them at 10 when they opened, or I called them at 10:30, and then around noon, I'm like, if it hits 2:00, I swear to God, I'm gonna go down that fucking leasing office. And then at 1:30, I went, this is too fucking hot in here. So I stormed down there, and I was like, is anyone gonna answer me? And they only had one leasing person working for some unruly reason, and she was already stressed. And I'm like, look, I need somebody down here. I'm down there like half naked, wearing the shortest shorts and an A shirt, wife beater as I knew it. And I'm just like, I never leave the apartment like that. I never leave the apartment unless I'm working out in anything less than shorts, like chino shorts or whatever. Who cares? And I was mad. And she's like, well, nobody's here. And I went, I'll wait. So I stood down there for like 20 minutes, just like arms crossed, walking around. And then finally, a maintenance person came back, and then he's like, "What's the issue?" And I went, "There's no." I kept my cool. I was like, oddly enough, like there's no air in my blah blah blah. And he tried to explain to me. I'm like, hey buddy, I've been here for 6 years. Trust me, I know what everything is. He came in, he looked at everything, and agreed with me. I'm like, no, you don't need to agree with me. Just do it. Then they finally just gave me a portable unit. They don't know where the other one is. So I have one of the only 2 on the property, which is so stupid. And then that was blowing from Monday at like three or four. It was almost 48 hours from the time it was started clicking. And then, because I woke up Sunday sweating, just like drenched. And then they came by yesterday, looked at the thing, and they're like, it's working. And then it started working for from 11 a.m. until 3, and then at 3 it conked out. And I know it was 3 because I started watching Moana again in preparation to go see Moana live action. And at 3 it just stopped working. And then because I already turned off the portable unit, which is, when I say portable unit, it's the size. It is like this high. It's like R2D2. It is truly the size of R2D2. Anyway, I'm unhappy. I'm very unhappy, and I turned it off now. And you know what's unfortunate is that I'm going to complain about the energy bill. I've already looked at it. The Nest, everything's connected through Google, so I show it. And this is stuff I bought. So I have everything connected through the Google Home app, and I see the energy usage from 4 p.m. on Saturday. 4 p.m. I see where it spiked, and then it just never went down until 11 a.m. on right. When did I get the thing? Whenever the fuck I got the thing. Yeah. 11 a.m. yesterday. That's right. Oh my God. And then I saw it spike again at 3. And then I saw it continue to spike. And so I eventually at some point I just turned the thing up, the Nest up, so that it would stop the cooling thing, but it would still run. I've already checked the lease. I am not protected. Like cycling yesterday morning with that thing was horrible, but doing yoga on Monday was the worst. And I came back I golfed on Sunday, and I came back and I was just still sweating when I got in. It's crazy. All right, let's get on with this news. So I just put in another maintenance request. The guy was like, because you didn't mark it as emergency. And I was like, somebody should fucking work on Sunday. It shouldn't matter. AC, if it's an AC problem, we have all this technology. It should automatically trigger. Like, I have things on Notion that will trigger if I type in certain words. All right, let's get to this. This comes from the New York Times from the Dealbook newsletter, which is written by Andrew Ross Sorkin. He's a great guy. Bernard Warner, Sarah Kessler, Michael J. De La Merced, Nico Galogli, Brian O'Keefe, Ian Mount, and Lauren Hirsch. States take on Paramount. Excuse me, I think I said stakes. An effort to block the media giant's planned takeover of Warner Brothers Discovery underscores how states are taking a more active role in antitrust litigation. This is the first giant step that we have seen any political party, person, whatever, what have you, organization take against mergers. Let's recap what's going on. Skydance bought Paramount last year. Paramount Skydance is going on a tear and saying, hey, we wanted Warner Brothers Discovery, and we wanted the entire company. And then they'll probably sell off little parts of it. Netflix wanted Warner Brothers, just the studios, the streamer, and the stuff that makes the money. And Universal also wanted it on that. And then eventually Netflix won. Then Netflix bowed out. Paramount Skydance is now set to take over. It's not a political thing, though. But David Ellison, son of Larry Ellison, is getting financing from Larry Ellison, known Trump supporter. Same thing with David Ellison. And a bunch of outside sources, including Saudi wealth finance funds. It's billions of dollars, and $111 billion. And even no matter what David Ellison and Paramount Skydance says, this is going to be worse for the consumer. It's going to be worse for the people that work there. A lot of people will be laid off. I just learned that, unfortunately, Howard Stern wants to go down to one show a week, and he just laid off half of his staff. So when he comes back from his summer break, they'll be doing one show a week. I have a lot of thoughts on that. I just think that it's basically a podcast, but if I understand he's been doing this for almost 40 years, and he's seen the ups and downs of the radio industry. But you're making $500 million for a 5-year agreement, and I guess this new agreement that was the last agreement. Now this new agreement is, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the numbers are, but it's, I mean, you do a show from your basement. And I don't want to be that person, but you do the show from your basement. You don't come in. If you went from, I'm making up a number, 30 people to 15 people, then that sucks. Those 15 people are going to have to find jobs. And yes, if, you know, they get severance or whatever based on how long they've been at the company, but even still, what if that runs out in a year or two or however long, you know? If you've been there for 10 years and you get your entire salary for a year, then that's it. Like, that's it. There's nothing from that. Anyway, that's just boils down my thoughts. Now, this roadblock, that is a potential roadblock, is coming from 12 states who sued to block Paramount's planned takeover of Warner Bros. Discovery. And a lot of people are against this planned takeover, including Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and a bunch of other political-based people. Again, this is not a political thing. Obviously, it is. It's perhaps the most prominent test yet of states' efforts to become meaningful antitrust regulators in their own right, especially after a recent Supreme Court ruling scrambled the regulatory outlook of federal agencies. Lauren Hirsch wrote about that. Yes, this will be an antitrust thing. This is directly affecting the consumer, directly affecting you. You can't have one company own everything or a majority of stuff. I believe I saw something earlier about how Nexstar and Tegna deal. The merger of Nexstar and Tegna can go through. Hold on, let me triple check this. Okay. FCC will vote to end cap. I swear to God, these fucking cookie pop-ups. FCC will vote to end cap on national broadcast ownership as Nexstar and Tegna acquisition is frozen. That was from Kayla Cobb at The Wrap. And if you remember, owners of stations are not supposed to own more than 39% of markets. So we'll find out in August if that can go through, but that's for a later thing. The coalition of states includes some states you would think, and some states that really pop up as like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Where are the states? Oh, God, I can't stay suing. Paramount. There we go. I'm very tired. The states include California, New York, Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, Oregon, and Washington. If you pay attention, California, New York, New Mexico, Jersey, and Nevada are places where a lot of things are being shot. Maybe I should just link to this WHYY, the NPR. Just say NPR. In fact, I will link to this NPR story because this DealBook thing has the information, but I want more expanded information. Rob Bonta, California's Attorney General, also accused the Justice Department of abdication of its antitrust duties after it cleared the transaction. The states are seeking to freeze the transaction, which would cost Paramount millions because it agreed to pay $650 million, quote, ticking fee, end quote, for every quarter the deal doesn't close after September 30th. This is that is again why the reason why I think that this deal is like being fast tracked, because that $650 million would go to board members of Warner Brothers Discovery. They signed off on this deal because it would make them so much more money. Whereas if they just went with Netflix, yes, Netflix is kind of the anti-hero in this situation. The Punisher, if you will. But then also Netflix would not have taken on the linear networks nor the gaming studio or anything else really. They would have just taken on the movie studio, and HBO Max. In the end, I think that would have been a much better deal for Warner Brothers, but it's whatever. I just read an article, which I'll talk about in the Constitutionals, a feature piece with quotes from Sam Register, I think he still works at Cartoon Network, who's like the big boss at Cartoon Network, but talking about why Cartoon Network produces shows for other platforms now. If you recall, if you know this, you probably don't know this. There's a new Adventure Time spinoff called Side Quests, which is a prequel series of sorts. I don't know if it's canon or not, but it's Finn and Jake doing more essentially 11-minute episodes, and that's on Disney Plus and Hulu with Disney Plus. Hulu on Disney Plus. And then same thing for the Wonderful World of Gumball. That's a Cartoon Network show. It was acquired from France, I think, but it's a Cartoon Network show. It's a sequel series to The Amazing World of Gumball, and that's on Hulu with Disney Plus and Disney Plus. The Caped Crusader, Batman Caped Crusader, that's on, and the Merry Little Batman. And what's the show that came from that? Little Batman? I don't know. I watch it. I don't know what it's called though. That's on Prime Video. And then there's a Scooby-Doo anime coming to Tubi. This is what I said when I read that to myself. The pets weren't even listening. That a new show does not need to appear on Tubi. People aren't going to Tubi to watch new shows. They're going to watch things that they either missed or that they loved, but they just don't want to pay for or don't need to pay for. No one's going, I'm going to watch the Freak Brothers and go to Tubi. If you remember the Freak Brothers, that's an adult animated show about three brothers who get high or something, or who have a weed farm, and it stars Pete Davidson, John Goodman, and Woody Harrelson. I think three people have never met. Or at least two of those people have never met Pete Davidson. Paramount's fighting back. They're calling the lawsuit wrong on both the facts and the law. The company also suggested that the state attorneys general, all Democratic, have politicized antitrust enforcement. To help its case, Paramount has hired Paul Clement. I'm sorry for that long pause. And a veteran Supreme Court appellate lawyer. Appellate lawyer, and quietly supported a bipartisan bill to create a federal film tax incentive. Remember, Paramount also said that they want to do 30 movies in theaters per year, and acquiring Warner Brothers would help them do that. However, they said that, and then like a couple months later, they go, we're going to not release the Avatar, The Last Airbender sequel movie into theaters, and we're just going to put it on Paramount Plus. Yes, it leaked earlier this year. I don't care. Put it in theaters. Who cares? You said you wanted to support that. How many movies do you have in theaters right now? Remember, I just saw Moana last night. We'll talk about it on Constitutionals. I love the Moana world, and I will. Here's the thing. I love Moana, and I will support any movie, any major tentpole movie starring people of color. So there you go. How strong is the state's lawsuit? According to William Kovacic, a former chairman of the FTC, he says, I think the state's case is strong enough to create real headaches for the parties. They didn't put quotes around the end part of that. The last time states won, 2 times the states won about antitrust deals includes Live Nation operating an illegal monopoly and the pausing of the Nexstar deal to buy Tegna. I used to work for Tegna under Warner Brothers Discovery. I really hope, I don't have any. It's been what 12 years of dealing with Trump now. I don't have any. I hope that this deal never goes through, but knowing what's happened over the past, again, 10 to 12 years, I don't think this is this is just a little speed bump for them. Everything would be affected. CNN would be affected. Look at, I've talked about Barry Weiss so much. I just don't have the energy to do it right now. I think she's a fat little cherub. I don't care if she's a woman. She's a fat little cherub, and I dislike her, and I have such disdain for her, and I would be so much better suited for the job of CBS News boss, mostly because I have more TV experience than she has. And something tells me I will always have more TV experience than she has. We'll see what happens in a couple of years. But it's, man, what a horrible, horrible path for for 2-storied studios to go down. I didn't mind Paramount buying Skydance, or Skydance buying Paramount, rather. It's so strange to say that because Skydance is like a production studio, and they bought a giant distributor. But it's man, I would love it if this didn't go through. And at this point, if the money that Warner Brothers got from not being able to merge with Paramount Skydance was then used, because they would get how much, I don't know how much money they would get, but they would get so much money if they used that money to just become a studio again. Also, I just saw I think this is true, but I saw that a majority of the Windows. Sorry, I just looked at a message from work and I just said Windows. I think that I saw the Batman movie, the Batman sequel. I guess the Batman 2 with Robert Pattinson, that was shifted to 2028. And then J.J. Abrams' new movie, this is from The Wrap. I'll just show it to you. I'm not going to link to it. The new movie with Glenn Powell, The Great Beyond, was delayed a year. And the Warner Brothers slate shakeup, because it was supposed to hit theaters this fall. My idea here, without reading this article, is that I'm pretty sure that this is because of what's happening with Paramount Skydance. Shifted an entire year. I'm looking at the numbers right now. Yeah, Batman Part 2 and The Great Beyond. That's insane. An entire year. This movie is just sitting. It is just sitting. A bunch of The Revenge of La Lorna, which is the sequel to the Conjuring spinoff, The Curse of La Lorna, a movie I did not like. I love the Conjuring universe. I did not like The Nun, the first Nun. The second Nun is amazing. And then The Curse of La Lorna. I think I fell asleep during that one. That one moved up. Okay, that's not bad. Anyway, Jesus. What a horrible time. What a horrible time for this industry. I hope that how much. Hold on, let me find out how much money. How much money would WBD get if the merger didn't go through? I'm only asking the question not to ask AI, but to follow through. Boom. Okay, I found it. from Media Play News. Here we go. Paramount reportedly offering $5 billion breakup fee if WBD acquisition fails to close. Okay. I don't know if Warner can run off of $5 billion. I don't think so. But that would definitely help. Okay. I want things to be better. We need more separation of this stuff. But whatever. All right, listen. If you like what you heard here, I'm hot, so I'm going to end the show. If you like what you heard here, head to the website cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to famous people sometimes. There's a new interview coming out under the feed for the Constitutionals. If you want to watch a video version of the interviews, go to youtube.com/cpluscomedy. We can see a video version of this show, the Constitutionals, the Entertainment Business News Show, and Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show. There's a monologue now. It's coming back this week. And everything else. Follow us on social media at cpluscomedy, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, and YouTube. Me on those platforms at Chad Black White. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.